Hello everyone and welcome to my video where I will be describing what is IQCP and how to implement it in your laboratory. In today's talk, you will learn the 3 essential steps needed for the implementation of IQCP.
The Clinical Laboratory Improvement Amendments of 1988 regulations require a laboratory to have quality control procedures to monitor the accuracy and precision of the complete testing process. A quality control option is now available that provides you the opportunity to tailor an individualized quality control plan for your unique testing environment and your patients. The IQCP option offers your laboratory flexibility for meeting regulatory quality control requirements appropriate for the testing you perform and when you add a new test. IQCP is an all-inclusive approach to assuring quality. It includes many practices that your laboratory already uses to ensure quality beyond requiring that a certain number of QC materials be tested at a designated frequency. IQCP can be applied to all non-wave testing performed, including existing and new test systems. All CLIA specialties and subspecialties except pathology are eligible for IQCP. Adoption of an IQCP will not necessarily reduce your QC testing practices. It will allow you to develop customized QC for your laboratory specific to specimens you test, your test system, reagents, environment, and testing personnel. An IQCP offers flexibility in achieving QC compliance and allows you to customize a QC plan for each non-wave test in its unique environment, optimize the use of electronic and integrated controls, adapt testing practices for advances in technology, incorporate other sources of quality information into the QC plan, strengthen partnerships with manufacturers, formalize the risk management data already maintained within the laboratory, and provide equivalent quality testing to meet the CLIA QC regulations. Remember, the IQCP approach is voluntary. If you do not choose to adopt an IQCP, your laboratory must test 2 levels of external controls on each test system for each day of testing and follow all specialty and subspecialty requirements in the CLIA regulations for non-wave tests. The IQCP is a continuous quality improvement plan which can be optimized for better performance as soon as the areas for improvement are identified. The first step is the assessment of risk. It is the process of identifying and evaluating the potential failures and errors that could occur during the pre-analytical, analytical, and post-analytical phases of testing. At a minimum, evaluate the following 5 components of the testing process for potential failures and errors: specimen, test system, reagent, environment, and testing personnel. Review and assess the laboratory standard operating procedures, manufacturer's instructions and package inserts, instrument and troubleshooting manuals, manufacturer's alerts and bulletins, calibration data, data obtained through verification or establishment of performance specifications, Food and Drug Administration alerts, historical QC data, including data from a previously conducted equivalent quality control study, instrument correlation data, proficiency testing results and data, records of complaints and corrected reports, regulatory and accreditation requirements, scientific publications, test process flowcharts or maps, and testing personnel training and competency records. Pay special attention to the following package insert sections: intended use, patient preparation, limitations, environmental requirements, QC frequency, specimen requirements, reagent storage, maintenance, calibration, and interfering substances. If you have questions concerning the manufacturer's instructions or need additional information, contact the manufacturer directly and keep the communication record. In laboratories with multiple, identical test systems, a single risk assessment may be performed. However, differences in testing personnel and environments where the test systems are used must be taken into consideration. Due to these differences, you should determine if you need to perform a risk assessment for each individual location and device.
Next comes the plan that the laboratory will adopt to perform QC testing.
A quality control plan describes practices, procedures and resources needed by your laboratory to ensure the quality of a testing process. The QC plan includes measures to assure the accuracy and reliability of test results, and that the quality of testing is adequate for patient care. The QC plan must provide for immediate detection of errors that occur due to test system failure, adverse environmental conditions, and operator performance. It must also monitor, over time, the accuracy and precision of test performance that may be influenced by changes in the specimen, test system, reagent, environment, or variance in operator performance. Create a plan that includes activities to reduce the likelihood of failures and errors identified from your risk assessment. Consider the amount of QC necessary based on the frequency and volume of patient testing. At a minimum, your QC plan must include the number, type, and frequency of testing control materials, as well as criteria for acceptable quality control. If indicated by the risk assessment, your QC plan may also incorporate the use of electronic controls, equipment maintenance, internal controls, personnel training and competency assessment, equipment calibration, and any other specified quality control activities. A complete QC plan must provide for immediate detection of errors for each phase of the testing process for the test. Specify the number, type, and frequency of testing QC material. Contain criteria to determine acceptable QC results. Require the laboratory perform QC as specified by the manufacturer's instructions, but not less than the manufacturer's instructions. Indicate that your laboratory director reviewed, signed, and dated the QC plan document.
Finally, the last step is to ensure that your QC plan is working as desired.
Quality assessment can be described as a multi-part activity, firstly as a tool to monitor and assess the process in order to correctly identifying the problems. The monitoring should include, but is not limited to, the following risk assessment components: specimen, test system, reagents, environment, and testing personnel.
Secondly, the quality assessment must also include a review of the effectiveness of corrective actions taken to resolve problems identified. The laboratory must update the risk assessment and modify the QC plan as necessary based on the information obtained.
Here are a few examples to help you identify the activities that are either part of quality assessment or quality control. Examples of quality control tasks include recording the room temperature on a log sheet, documenting controls on log sheets, and documenting personnel training. On the other hand, the following instances are associated with quality assessment, for example, reviewing the room temperature log sheet for problems and evidence of corrective actions, reviewing the control documents for out-of-range values and corrective actions taken, and reviewing personnel training records for completion of required trainings and competency assessments. Once quality assessment has been incorporated into your IQCP, the three parts of the IQCP may be viewed as a continuous cycle of improvement, where risk assessment incorporates all potential instances that may lead to a wrong result, the QC plan ensures that no mistakes happen, and, finally, the quality assessment reviews and assesses the whole IQCP elements are working as intended. Quality assessment helps you make sure that your QC plan is working as expected, monitor errors and QC failures, identify errors and failures so you can take the appropriate corrective action, investigate the cause of the error and reassess your risk assessment, if indicated, and evaluate whether any changes need to be made in the QC plan. Documents to consider for quality assessment monitoring and review may include but are not limited to, QC datasheets review, Delta check logs, proficiency testing records, complaint reports, patient results review, specimen recollection logs, specimen rejection or quantity not sufficient logs, panic value call logs, turnaround time reports, temperature logs, records of preventive measures, corrective actions, and follow-up, personnel competency records, maintenance logs, training logs, and FDA alerts. To ensure that your quality assessment will comprehensively monitor your IQCP, ask yourself if your quality assessment can do the following. Outline the QA practices for your laboratory. Monitor continuously for effectiveness. Revise policies and procedures necessary to prevent recurrence of problems. Discuss QA reviews with appropriate staff. Document all QA activities.
If all your answers are yes, you have performed a fantastic job and deserve appreciation. However, if you are missing on any of these items, you need to further work up on your assessment plan.
Important thing to remember is that quality assessment is used to determine if the quality activities you have put in place are working or not.
If you find difficulty at any step or need further information, don't hesitate to type in your queries in the comment box below. I will be glad to help you in successful implementation of IQCP at your laboratory. Thank you for your time. Have a nice day.